guys made a strong push there in the third quarter, and then they seemed to recapture the momentum. How did they turn it back around?
Oh, I think got some runouts, transition, offensive rebounds in that stretch. Down 20 is never ideal. It's taxing to, claw your way back into a game. Able to cut it to a two-possession game with about 5.5 minutes to play. So you're within striking distance, and I think they hit a top of the key three, and I think I got another possession all of a sudden and kind of stretched again on us. So couldn't recover from that.
That push was made by the starters. What was holding back the bench tonight?
I don't think anything in particular. I mean, we had a handful of turnovers in that first run. I believe 6 in that quarter. Cut into those turnovers a little bit second half, but they were blowing up some actions. We had a hard time with dribble handoffs. I just think making auto passes, and I think they were able to jump the lanes and get out and convert.
Wes, what did you see in the first half, particularly what seemed like your team not ready for their aggression and their
we were, I think that's the, kind of a lesson for us all, is we knew going in that they're a very aggressive, very physical team, and I don't think we came out anticipating that, amount of force. And they played last night just like we did, so to show a little more resilience in that second half was positive, but, we got to make sure we're ready to go at the start of the game.
Jordan had 10 shot attempts tonight, only 4 last night. What's holding him back from? He's a volume shooter. What's holding him back from?
Some of it is really good defense. He's got the primary defender on him at all times. Last night it was 𝗙𝗢𝗟𝗏. Obviously tonight you saw a number of bodies, but he's the priority most often. On the scouting report, and teams are, for good reason, trying to put their best defender on it.
You talk about New York's kind of offensive versatility. I'm curious, what did they do kind of off the ball tonight to challenge you guys?
Those two garner so much attention, and they put so much pressure on you. They're able to obviously stretch you from 3. Their high volume usage, I've seen the post for Randall, ISOs, but Brunson and pick and roll. And he just puts so much pressure on you with his ability to shoot the pull-up 3, play in the pocket. He's got a very, very slow pace but efficient floor game. Uses his fakes and so forth, gets you off balance. And he makes those push shots in between shots at a high clip. So, it's just that balance of getting back in front of the ball. And sometimes he's going to make tough shots for his really good defense. But, he's a tough cover.
Denny and Kuz both had big nights, especially a lot of it was coming in transition. What did you see from those two that you liked?
Well, I think the tempo, obviously in that third quarter we were able to get stops, and that helped us get out and run, and we've been really good when we're able to do that. I think mixing in more zone helped us. Still had some issues at times with rebounding, but overall it just breaks up the rhythm, takes them out of kind of what the primary offensive flow. So that was helpful, but I think once we got those stops, those two do a great job of pushing, spacing the floor. Guys know that when they run, they're going to get opportunities.
You mentioned going into zone a little bit. What goes into your decision making, and what kind of take me to the mind of a coach when you're deciding to go into zone or not? Is it more personnel based? Is it your personnel, their personnel?
It's both. The flow. We're having a hard time with certain actions. We're having a hard time, and the other team's got a flow or a rhythm. Maybe want to try and break it up a little bit. Also, depending on who they have on the floor. If they've got a lot of shooting on the floor, maybe not the best idea, but once again, it forces them to do something, outside of the norm. And I think at times it works. Tonight, I think it did. It helped. And, obviously, they got a little bit of a beat on it, started to adjust and ran some different stuff to, kind of stretch our zone a bit, overload the strong side. And that's going to happen. But, I thought it was good that we were able to mix it in and create a little indecision. All right, appreciate it.
20 turnovers is obviously not what you want to see. Do you think that was the big momentum shift tonight, or was it something else?
Turnovers was huge. First half, not really making shots, and same thing defensively. This is really kind of the third game of not really scoring over 100. and allowing over 120. So
What makes Julius Randle so hard to guard apart from his size?
he does a great job of just using his body, understands how to get to the line and fouls, and he attacks every possession. So
You mentioned the offense the last few games. What have been some common issues that have been different from the rest of the year for you guys?
I mean, we've been turning the ball over, playing a little different. Haven't been hitting shots, haven't been playing with pace. Fast break has been a little different. Today was cool for segments because we got stops and we got out. But
And you guys made a strong push there in the third quarter, and then they were able to regain the momentum. Why do you think why they were able to do that?
not hitting shots. Tibbs plays his guys a lot during the game, so you notice a lot in that second unit. Julius Randle was in still. Hartenstein was playing. Brunson was in, so they played a lot of their first unit versus second unit too. I mean, that's what Tibbs does. He plays his guys a lot. So
Did their aggressiveness and assertiveness kind of overwhelm the team in the first half?
yeah, in the second quarter, I think it did for sure. I think the first 8-9 minutes of the game, it was okay, it's whatever. Then it kind of just broke free a little bit.
When you look at the Knicks, obviously having one of the league's better defenses, I know some of that is personnel, some of that is kind of their scheme. What is it that they do well that you feel like you guys could kind of replicate for the rest of the season, the Knicks?
I mean, we try to do what they do. They just got the personnel to do it,
And then in that third quarter, when things start cooking, what was kind of the key to that?
For us,
Yes.
we got stops. We played zone, made them get more stagnant. And we got out and we got some transition looks. We're at our best when we play with pace, and we, a few times we get stops, get out and go. So
When you talk about getting stops at the beginning of the third quarter, defense to offense, is that a mentality switch? Was it a scheme thing? I know you mentioned going zone a little bit. Do you think that played a role in it?
yeah, the zone. I think the zone played a role in it. I think we got a little bit more physical. Got in, cracked back on some rebounding, Hartenstein, and we got out and ran. So